There is a place in the middle of the Pacific Ocean where the stones are said to have flown through the air. It is a city built not on land, but on a coral reef, nearly 100 artificial islands constructed from 750,000 tons of black basalt. It is known as Nan Madol. To the modern engineer, it is a logistical impossibility. To the locals, it is a place of sokez, the forbidden power. While the rest of the world was building with wood and thatch, a mysterious dynasty was stacking mountain-sized pillars in the middle of the sea. They didn't use wheels. They didn't use pulleys. They didn't even have metal. Tonight, we decode the city of the sorcerers. This is Mythic Code Official. Nan Madol is the only ancient city ever built entirely on a coral reef. The scale is staggering. We are talking about basalt columns, some weighing 50 tons, that were transported from the other side of the island of Pompeii. There are no roads, there are no bridges. To move this much stone today would require heavy lift cranes and a massive logistics fleet. Yet the Saudeleur Dynasty moved enough stone to equal the mass of the Great Pyramid, all to build a city in the middle of a swampy lagoon. Why? Why choose the most difficult location on Earth to build a fortress of obsidian-colored stone? The archives suggest this wasn't a choice of convenience. It was a choice of frequency. The local legend of Nan Madol does not speak of slaves or ropes. It speaks of the twin sorcerers, Olosopa and Olosipa. They did not lift the stones, they chanted to them. According to oral tradition, the massive basalt pillars rose from the quarries and flew across the island, landing perfectly in place. In the modern age, we dismiss this as mythic dunshis. But look at the physics. We are beginning to understand acoustic levitation, the use of sound frequencies to lift matter. Was Nan Madol built using a lost science of vibration? Was the city itself a giant resonator, tuned to a specific frequency that the modern mind has been deleted from understanding? But Nan Madol wasn't just a feat of engineering, it was a masterpiece of dark psychology. The Saudeleur Dynasty used the city as a high-security archive for the elite. By building on the water, they isolated themselves from the common people. They forced the local chiefs to live within the city walls, where they could be watched 24 hours a day. There was no fresh water. There was no food. Everything had to be brought in by the commoners. It was a system of total dependency. This is the psychology of the sublime in action. By living in a city that appeared to be built by gods, the Saudeleur made their power appear absolute. They didn't need an army. They needed a monument that made rebellion feel like an insult to gravity itself. Modern explorers have noted a strange phenomenon at Nan Madol. The basalt columns are naturally magnetic. When you fly a drone or use a compass near the central mortuary of Nandawas, the electronics begin to glitch. The compasses spin. The signals drop. Is it possible that Nan Madol was more than a city? Was it a global circuit? An electromagnetic grounding point designed to interact with the Earth's natural energy? This is the Great Deletion at its most literal. We see the stones, but we have lost the manual for the machine. We are looking at a 15th century supercomputer and calling it a ruin. But the stones we see above the tide are merely the surface of the archive. Recent sonar scans have revealed a truth that mainstream archaeology is struggling to explain. The basalt columns do not stop at the reef. They continue down, plunging into the blackness of the Pacific Trench. Divers have reported seeing massive hexagonal pillars standing in the silt, hundreds of feet below the surface, structures that would have been above water only during the last ice age. This shifts the timeline of Nan Madol from centuries to millennia. If the foundations were laid when the sea levels were lower, we are looking at a civilization that predates every known Pacific culture. It suggests that the Saudeleur Dynasty didn't build Nan Madol, they found it. They occupied a ruin from the Great Deletion, a high-tech grounding station from a forgotten epoch, and used its residual power to establish their reign of terror. There is a final, terrifying possibility. Basalt is rich in iron and magnetite. When you submerge thousands of tons of magnetized volcanic rock into the highly conductive salt water of the ocean, you don't just have a city, you have a battery. The Venice of the Pacific was designed with a specific geometric layout of canals. As the tides rush through these narrow stone channels, the movement of the conductive salt water against the magnetized basalt creates a massive electrolytic reaction. This is the soak's power the locals feared. The city was a machine designed to harvest the kinetic energy of the moon in the ocean, converting the tides into a low-frequency electromagnetic hum. Was this frequency used for communication, or was it a psychological fence, a subsonic vibration that kept the population in a state of constant, low-level anxiety, making them easier to control? We are standing on the hull of a submerged engine, listening to the echoes of a power we no longer have the code to activate. The Mirror of Giza. Nan Madol sits in a high-security vault of history, much like the Voynich manuscript or the Antikythera mechanism. It mocks our linear narrative of progress. It reminds us that we are a high-speed, low-memory civilization. We build with steel that rusts, while the Saudeleur built with stone that remembers. As the tides rise and fall through the canals of Nan Madol, the city continues to broadcast its message. Power is not found in what you own, but in what you can move, and what you can make the world believe is impossible. The archive is open. The stones are waiting. Subscribe to Mythic Official, decode the world, or be buried by the rising tide.